it is fresh on my mind, so I figure while I'm taking out the trash, I would share a couple of stories. And I guess probably the worst one would be, I'm pretty sure it was my 7th grade Spanish class. We'll just call him Mr. B for short, so as not to name the victims of my poor behavior. But it was his first year as a teacher, and he was honestly a pretty nice guy. Like, my memory is he was a nice guy, and that was the problem, is he was a bit of he was a bit soft on the discipline, and I think me and my hooligan friends sensed that and took advantage of it. And I even remember at the beginning of the year being excited to learn Spanish, like being interested and thinking this guy is gonna teach us Spanish. This is great. But it ended up being a nightmare of a year for him and me and my hooligan buddies. That was the biggest problem, is it was a classroom full of animals, and it was like this progressive overload where it's like every time we gained an inch. And it was like, dude, it felt, what it felt like was like being, if there's ever such a thing as being in like a prisoner of war camp, or being in a prison, but where the inmates had a lot more influence, where we outnumbered the guards, and because this guy definitely had some authority over us. But it was like this daily challenge where we would walk in and it was just like, what kind of mayhem are we going to cause in 4th period today? And it definitely wasn't fun for everyone. I remember specifically a quote from some of the gals in the class who would try and shush us or calm us down, because they were trying to learn and trying to get good grades. And so it wasn't, not everyone was on board with the chaos. But, it was one of those scenarios where parents would have to sit in on the class, or other teachers, because it was so loud, they would, switch off coming down the hall to sit in the class or shush us. Or the big threat was when we started acting up. The big threat on his end was that he would call the administrators, the office, or the security guards, and we'd just do stupid stuff. But I remember we would do like there was one day where we had like a cell phone ringtone or something, and we were playing the ringtone and then handing it and passing it off between us, and so he couldn't get anything done because we were playing this obnoxious noise. Or the big event, the big kind of peak of chaos at one point in the year was a period of time where it was just getting crazy, and we were causing mayhem, whatever it was, and for whatever reason we had convinced this other kid in class, Mike. We had convinced him to basically go into the back of the room where there was cabinets full of books and pens. You can imagine just a schoolhouse. There's a bunch of shelves with books on it and little plastic containers of pens or whatever it was. I don't know why. It was like Lord of the Flies. We had just gotten him riled up and convinced him that he should knock stuff off of this book cabinet. We were just getting crazy, and it was like this weird like climax where he's in the back of the room. We're convincing him, like knock this stuff over, and he like tips over one of these cabinets of pens, like a little box off the thing, and we're like, go for the whole thing, and he basically grabs these big bookcases and starts rocking, and we're all cheering him on like, knock it over, and sure enough, he like rocks them, and then tips them all the way over to where the entire back of the classroom, these bookcases, tip in, and everything, things go everywhere. And Mr. B gets on the phone with the administration, to bring the security guards down to come haul this kid away. And he heads for the window where it was a first-story classroom. So it was at the first floor, so he cracks the window, Mike cracks the window open and takes off running down the courtyard, and we're all telling him, run, Mike, run. And of course, not but however many minutes later, he gets hemmed up by school security, and then gets hauled back to detention, and so that's just one of many little scenarios in this wild classroom that we were in. So I'll leave you with that for now. Definitely not proud of these moments, but it was a crazy period of middle school. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.